The main reason no state has launched a serious attack on Israel is the fear of nuclear retaliation. For decades, it has been assumed that Israel possesses a nuclear arsenal, acting as a powerful deterrent to its enemies. But what if Israel's nuclear weapons program is a bluff? What if the threat of nuclear retaliation is based on fear, not fact? Israel has never officially confirmed or denied possessing nuclear weapons, adhering to a policy of deliberate ambiguity. This silence has helped cultivate the perception that Israel is a nuclear power. Estimates suggest that Israel has between 90 and 400 nuclear warheads, delivered through land-based Jericho missiles, submarine-launched cruise missiles, and tactical bombers. The Jericho 1 is thought to have a range of 500 kilometers, while the Jericho 2 is reported to reach 1,500 kilometers. However, none of these claims have been independently verified. The United States has also maintained silence on Israel's nuclear capabilities, likely to avoid triggering nuclear proliferation among neighboring countries. When asked about Israel's nuclear arsenal, President Barack Obama declined to speculate, further fueling the uncertainty. But what if the assumption is wrong? What if Israel doesn't possess the nuclear strike capability it is believed to have? In 1979, U.S. satellites detected two bright flashes over the Indian Ocean, which were suspected to be from a nuclear test. While initial suspicions pointed to South Africa, the CIA suggested that Israel was responsible. If true, this would mean Israel violated international law by conducting a nuclear test, and that U.S. financial aid to Israel has been illegal under the U.S. Arms Export Control Act and the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty laws used to sanction other countries like Iran for their nuclear ambitions. Yet, the 1979 incident remains the only piece of evidence linked to Israel's supposed nuclear program, and it's far from conclusive. To build a credible nuclear arsenal, a country must successfully test nuclear devices and the missiles to deliver them. Israel has never provided evidence of such tests, raising doubts about whether it has operational nuclear weapons. As any engineer knows, if you can't test, you don't have a final product. Despite the lack of hard evidence, Israel has allowed the rumors about its nuclear arsenal to spread. This ambiguity has kept potential adversaries off balance, unsure whether an attack on Israel would provoke a devastating nuclear response. Shimon Peres, a former Israeli leader, admitted in his biography that Israel benefited from these rumors, exploiting the uncertainty of its enemies to maintain a strategic advantage. However, if Israel's nuclear weapons program is a bluff, it calls into question decades of fear and hesitation across the Middle East. Israel's military has demonstrated weaknesses in its engagements with groups like Hamas, struggling to achieve decisive victories. The Zionist army's weaknesses have been exposed on the battlefield, and its nuclear deterrent may be nothing more than a myth. Israel's limited industrial capacity also raises questions about its ability to develop a large nuclear arsenal in secret. For example, Israel couldn't build its first submarine until 1999, after relying on German-made submarines for decades. If Israel struggled to build a submarine, how could it secretly construct an entire nuclear arsenal with up to 400 warheads, as some estimates suggest? The logistics and industrial requirements to maintain such a program make it seem unlikely that Israel could have done this without the world noticing. At this point, it's time for Israel and the United States to come clean. Does Israel possess a nuclear weapons program or not? If it does, U.S. law demands an immediate end to all military and financial aid to Israel, along with sanctions similar to those imposed on Iran. If Israel doesn't have nuclear weapons, then the entire Middle East has been deceived by one of the most effective bluffs in history. Israel has a history of preemptively striking potential nuclear threats in the region, as seen with its attacks on nuclear facilities in Iraq and Syria, as well as its alleged cyber attacks on Iran's nuclear program. In the end, Israel's policy of deliberate ambiguity has served its purpose well, keeping its enemies unsure of whether they face a nuclear-armed state. But if the truth reveals that Israel's nuclear program is a hoax, Israel may be far more vulnerable than anyone realized. Maybe it's time to call Israel's bluff and force it to either confirm or deny its nuclear capabilities once and for all.